Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here with you today to talk about how to scale up your business processes. My name is Ben Canning. I'm working product management over here at Smartsheet, and we've got some exciting things to talk with you about today. So today we're gonna focus on how you can turn your team's business processes into a structured program using some new capabilities in Smartsheet. We'll talk about some of the best practices and things that you should be thinking about when you scale up a business process. And we're going to dive deep on some exciting new product capabilities, including Bridge and Work Apps, which we're announcing at the conference this year and opening up to preview. So I'm super excited to share this stuff with you. Let's get into it. Obligatory legal disclaimer up front. I'm going to talk about some forward-looking stuff today, so there's no guarantees that everything will work out like we say. And we might mention some other companies or products. That's not us endorsing them or them endorsing us. It's just for reference purposes only. This is a recorded session. Please put your questions in the chat, and we'll have folks there to answer them. And also, I'll be hanging around after the talk in order to answer any questions that you may have. So with the preliminaries out of the way, let's dive into it. So work is really changing, and we need tools that can adapt to that change. The work that we're doing is highly fluid. There isn't one system that can sort of solve all of our problems. We need a system that is highly fluid and dynamic. We find that most projects fail because they can't adapt. So we need a tool that we can change as needed to meet our needs. We're finding that teams are increasingly distributed. We've seen a 400% growth in the number of folks that are working outside of the office over the last 10 years. And as we've all seen in the midst of this global pandemic, we're having to adapt radically the way that we do our work. So we need systems that are fluid and agile and can work well with our distributed teams. But we also need systems that we can build ourselves, that business users can build themselves. There's 3 professional developers for every 100 business users. So there's just no way that IT is going to be able to build all of these tools and systems for us. We need things that are that we can build ourselves and be achievable. And that's really what inspires us every day to build the things that we build. And I'm going to talk to you about some of those today. So let's take a step back for a minute and talk about scaled business processes. So when we talk about business processes, what I mean is any kind of ongoing body of work with a specific business objective or operational objective that is made up of a set of people and tools to deliver on a goal. So you might think about product development or an event management system or financial operations or human capital management and talent recruiting, any of these systems that need to run at scale. Many of you are running such systems today and kind of getting by with maybe spreadsheets and email. And that can work at sort of small scale, but there comes a breaking point where the duct tape and baling wire doesn't work anymore, and you need to scale that system up. And when we scale those systems, there's a few things that we want to think about. We want to think about the people and the outputs that we're trying to get from that system. What's the change that we're trying to impact on the organization, and who are the people and roles that need to participate in that system? And how do we design it so that it can actually work for each of those different kinds of people? when we scale up a business process, we are typically going to want to integrate it in with the other systems and platforms that we have at our organization. So this isn't just like I've got a list of tasks and I need to tick off the tasks. This is a highly scaled system that probably needs to integrate with my ERP system or with my HCM system or CRM. And how do I actually hook those things up without being a professional developer, so that I can actually impact the change that I'm trying to make. And then third, we got to think about how to lead organizational change here. We've all rolled out systems and processes that we thought were great and made sense to us, but ran into this wall of organizational inertia where folks are still just routing around the system. So how do we make it intuitive enough and simple enough that folks can actually engage and operate against the process and don't push back? So it was thinking about these kinds of concerns that led us to develop a number of the systems that we've developed over the years, in particular that led us to think about Bridge and Work Apps. And I want to talk to you in some depth about those now. Let's start with Work Apps. So one of the things that inspires us is when we see that you are already building apps. You're all already app developers, and you may not think of yourselves that way. It sounds kind of like a scary thing, but we see it every day. And I'll give you a few examples. We have one customer in the clean energy industry. They manage wind farms with all of those wind turbines, and they need to manage maintenance cycles for those things. They've got an army of contractors, out there in pickup trucks running those maintenance activities. They use they built a set of sheets and forms in Smartsheet that they use on Smartsheet Mobile, and so those crews can go out there and tick off those tasks. They can take pictures of the parts that they've changed and feed all of that data back into Command Central. That's an app, that thing on the phone that the crews are using. We have another customer in the sort of athleisure clothing line. They use Smartsheet as an inventory tracking system. So they used to use pen and paper to check things in and out. Now they use Smartsheet Mobile to do barcode scanning, to check things in and out of their inventory. We have a third customer in the property management business. They've got a bunch of contract property managers who really needed to understand how do I find the forms that I need to do my job? How do I report on maintenance activities that need to take place? So they built an integrated dashboard with all of those reports and forms so that their employees could have a streamlined experience. And as we saw more and more customers building these, it really sort of inspired us to say, well, wouldn't it be amazing if we could enable customers to take all of those pieces and tie them together into a packaged application that they could just distribute out as a single thing, and that they could keep, that they could maintain easily, and that would deliver a beautiful experience on desktop and mobile. And I'm excited to announce that we are opening up our preview of exactly that. So we're announcing Smartsheet Work Apps, which is a no-code platform for building intuitive web and mobile apps. It allows you to package your Smartsheet forms and sheets and dashboards and other content into a streamlined business application that you can distribute out to anyone who's participating in your process to simplify working together. Work Apps lets you achieve more faster. The apps allow you to streamline your business processes, letting people do their work on desktop or mobile, wherever they may be. They're purpose-built So the user experience in the app is precisely designed for what purpose you're trying to achieve. You don't need to navigate through Smartsheet or look up different sheets or forms. It's all there packaged for you so that it's easier to get folks to participate in your process and get their work done. And work apps are scalable, so you can use them for something as simple as your team one-on-ones, all the way up to managing the remodel of 1,000 retail locations. We anticipate folks building pretty much all solutions in Smartsheet using work apps. So you can imagine using them for managing construction tasks on a job site, or doing inventory management and equipment deployment in a manufacturing system. Global operations management is a great use case, tracking pre-flight checklists, for example, or using them in human resources to track one-on-ones and review processes. You can really do a lot of amazing things with a work app. So I've talked a lot about work apps, but seeing is believing. So let me walk you through a demo of exactly what I'm talking about. So this is a work app that that one of our customers, Modus, built. Now, Modus is a company that is in the fleet management industry. So they are doing, massive fleets of delivery vehicles. They manage shifts. They manage BI, and all that kind of thing. Rachel Sheely runs the professional services department at Modus, and she's got another session here at Engage where she's going to deep dive into their business and how they're using this app. But I'm going to walk you through it here in this session as well. So one of the challenges that Rachel has is she runs a professional services and customer success department. So she's interacting a lot with internal stakeholders like the sales organization. And one challenge is that the sales team, their job isn't to interact with professional services. So they don't necessarily know where all of the forms are that they're supposed to use, or how to interact with professional services in the most efficient way, or how to track what requests they've come in. And so things were a little bit chaotic. So using work apps, Rachel was able to build this beautiful app. And you can see the app is made up of pages. So this is the view that someone in the sales org has. So there's now a professional services app. It has a beautiful dashboard landing page that explains how to interact with Modus, and what all of the various forms are to request activities. These are Smartsheet forms that have been integrated into the app, so it's easy to find the right form. You'll notice that the performance of the app is really snappy because we're able to bring up all of those forms in real time in the background. So I could submit a request for professional services and right here in the app, and then if I want, I can see the status of any of my requests. So this is a report that's showing me a filtered view of just the requests that I've submitted that, again, she's put into the app. So that allows me as a salesperson to not have to navigate to a bunch of different sheets and reports. I've got it all nicely bundled here. And all of the apps that I'm shared to are in an app gallery inside of Smartsheet and in Smartsheet Mobile. So it's very easy to go and find them again. One of the key great things about work apps is how they help me manage information security. So in this case, I as a salesperson, I don't need to be able to make any edits to any of this information. That's all managed by Rachel's team, but I do want to be able to see it. Work apps allows me to have a read-only view of this report, and importantly for Smartsheeters out there, I can get access to this information through the app, but you don't have to give me any access to the underlying sheet. So you have complete control over what your app user is seeing without having to give them the keys to the kingdom. That helps both with security, but also keeping keeping the app robust and preventing folks from accidentally breaking things. Another cool thing about apps is the notion of roles. So this is the view that the sales org has. Rachel's team has a different view. They have a beautiful management dashboard that shows them everything about their professional services business and allows them to manage their solution and do their work actually directly within the tool. So again, Rachel's team lives in the app as well. And so the last thing you may be asking is, well, okay, this looks pretty cool, but is it actually easy to make this? So let's make an app real quick. This is the app builder that you can get to from Smartsheet. I'm going to go create a new app. And apps are made up of pages. You can have any Smartsheet content or form or any web content. So if you want to include a Tableau dashboard or a Power BI dashboard or a video or anything like that, that's easy to do as well. For now, I'll just do Smartsheet content. This is going to show me a list of sheets that I have available to me. Go ahead and click Add Pages. I could modify the view of those pages over there, but for the purposes of the demo, I'm going to go ahead and just publish that app. And with just that, those couple of clicks, I've now got a work app that I've configured and can deploy to anybody that I want. It's pretty much just that easy. So the preview is available now. We're super excited to see what y'all are going to build with this. So that's work apps. But the other thing that we talked about was integrating with the rest of your software platform. And for that, I want to hand it over to my colleague, Tony Lucas, who's joining us from Edinburgh today, speaking of distributed teams. And he's going to talk all about Bridge and what you can do with that. So, Tony?
Thanks, Ben. As Ben says, I'm one of the product leads over here in Edinburgh, which will explain the funny accent to those of you that don't recognize it. I'm really pleased to also be here today to tell you a bit more about Bridge. Some of you may have heard a little bit about it in the summer, but now we get to reveal far more about it. Bridge is what we call a cross-platform automation engine. So what does that mean? Well, it means we let you automate business processes across platforms. In all seriousness, though, it is very much businesses these days are driven on processes. And it's very clear that there are a lot of processes that are repeatable, definable processes that can actually have a degree of either partial or full automation with them. Often these processes actually involve integrating with other systems. We love that people spend lots and lots of time inside a Smartsheet, but we know that there is lots of other tools and systems of record out there. And it's key to being able to eliminate those silos and to be able to deal with that repetitive work is to be able to cross these processes, across these systems. And basically, as Ben alluded to be able to help companies and individuals inside those companies react quicker to the very, very rapidly changing world that we're currently in. So let me tell you a bit more about some of the use cases we see. So all the use cases we're looking at here are ones that beta customers of Bridge have done. It's been said before that there are 2,000 different use cases for Smartsheet or more, and we think the same is true of Bridge. If you haven't seen the keynote already because you've jumped straight to our session, awesome. But the logistics management, which is an area that we've seen some really amazing use cases, that's actually been featured in the keynotes. If you haven't seen it already, go back and watch it. We've had a lot of interest for using Bridge for tracking weather, whether that's for tracking and managing forecasts or for real-time data and tracking for changeable weather, or even for historical data, all which are around allocating work crews for people being able to go and do work in outdoor sites or sites where tracking the weather ahead is really important. There's a session later on in this schedule that dives much deeper into that use case. There's also one that I'm going to show you shortly around how you can use Bridge for marketing automation. And there's lots of other use cases because Bridge can ultimately integrate into just about anything that has an API. And for those that don't know what an API is, it's basically a computer version of a human interface. So where you have a user interface in a browser for Smartsheet, an API is a computer way for computers to talk to each other. We have several other human resource or human capital examples, enriching data in sheets around employees, bringing it in from human capital software, professional services engagements around tracking people and projects, and even, and a little bit different for Bridge, being able to build bots using chat or messaging services to handle real-time queries and information gatherings for things like internal employee events, or possibly real-world events if we ever get to see them again. Anyway, let's go back to the marketing example. So really simply here, we have a Smartsheet form. I suspect everyone on the call is quite familiar with them now. I'm just going to fill this in. All this is doing is collecting leads for a company. And the idea is that we will then want to subscribe them to a mailing list. So if I go and fill this in now, filling it incorrectly would be a good start. And I'm just going to put my details in there. And we've got a sheet now here that we've got the data in. You can see the sheet's just updated. And it's added my row in as I filled the form in. And what's happening now is Bridge has automatically gone, seen that a row's been added, and added me to the general email list. Because it's looked at who I am and it's looked at my job title and gone, okay, yeah, the right person to add is to the general email list. So now I'm just going to do that again. And I'm going to pretend to be Mark for a minute. I've got the CEO. So now we submit this one. And you'll see there's Mark coming in. And Bridge again is kicking in, but it's detected that he's got a different job title and a much more important job title. And you'll see that it's actually looked at it and it's subscribed him to both email lists, both the generalized email list and the leadership email list. And what it's doing there in the background is basically, if I just show you quickly what this looks like in Bridge, I won't go through all the details, but basically Bridge is triggered by a row being added by the form. It's then automatically going and grabbing the row of data from Smartsheet. It's calling out to our friends at Marketo, adding that person to the static list, which is the general list. And it's then looking at their job title and going, okay, do they have a job title I care about? Right? Do I want to add them to the leadership list? Do I want to add them to the sales list? Or do I want to do nothing else because there's some other role? And so then it basically decides which of those lists added them to and to update Smartsheet accordingly. And it's as simple as that. You've got a process there that would normally take a human being having to sit there and repeatedly look at these lists and update them manually. And with an hour or so's work to build this, it's now completely automated away. So hopefully that gives you a little idea of a simple use case for Bridge. We would love you to come and challenge us with the use cases that you've got, and hopefully come and try and find something that Bridge can't do, which we'd love to see what you want to do. The same with app spaces as well, of course. So in closing, if you want to learn more about Bridge, then there's the URL there, both for Bridge and for the learning more about work apps and the work app preview. Or if you want to dive deeper and into the work apps feature site, then by all means, there's lots of information there. And as I say, don't forget both the in-depth session with Rachel from Motus on how they scale their delivery out with their automated workflow system using work apps, and the Bridge demonstration later on as well, the Bridge deep dive. Thank you very much.